You read that correctly. The medical esthetician who screams about hating eye creams and why they are a giant waste of money tried using one for 2 months. And these are my before and after results. Overall, I've been through 1.5 bottles of these, and as you can see, it's actually gotten very, very gummy up here. When we look at the ingredients, this has maltodextrin, which is a corn sugar, and I think that's what's gumming up here. Overall, this was a very, very interesting experiment, and we're gonna talk about the anatomy of the eye and kind of how this went. One of the reasons I hate eye creams is because eye creams claim to improve your eyes, but think about the different problems we have in our under eye area. One could be color, another one could be puffiness, and a third could be wrinkles. Those are 3 different things with different pathology, different reasons that they happen. And selling us one cream doesn't tell us which one it's going to fix or what it's supposed to do. This one is from The Ordinary, and because I love The Ordinary and I do love this product when applied to the face, I thought maybe I'll give it a try as an eye cream and I will see how it goes. Oh, it has been a journey. This is the caffeine solution plus 5% egcg, which stands for epigallocatogen 3-gallate. This reduces the appearance of eye contour pigmentation and puffiness, and those are some of my problems. I'm not at the point where I have major lines by my eyes yet. I have a little bit of crow's feet and wrinkling, but I'm SPFing every day because prevention is easier than treatment. However, I do have many nights that I wake up with puffy under eye bags or with purpleness under my eyes because I don't sleep too well, or just because that is the anatomy of my face. And I specifically have these very puffy areas kind of in this orbital region, kind of above that bone, your cheekbone or your zygomatic process that you feel, as well as those orbital ones that make up those circles. And I decided let's try out the eye cream and let's document this, and then let's take down some of the scientific reasons as to what's really going on here. So first, let's talk about ingredients. You always know to turn and learn. And this is also one of the reasons that I was like, okay, maybe I'll give this one a try. When we look at this, it does have 5% caffeine. Caffeine does a lot of things to your body when you drink it. It binds to those adenosine receptors, but when you apply it topically, it acts as a vasoconstrictor. Vaso means vein, and to constrict is to tighten. So you see, if we have these little blood vessels or these little veins underneath our eyes, our under eyes, it's the same skin as the rest on our face, it's just thinner, and because of that, we can see those little veins poking through a little bit more. With those tiny little veins in there, when they poke through the skin, sometimes they look dark or sometimes they look purple. And if it's these veins that are causing that color, using a little bit of vasoconstriction could try to constrict that area, kind of trying to stimulate some of that fluid back into the body a little bit more, and hopefully get rid of some of that purpleness. The other ingredients we have in here are that maltodextrin, glycerin, propanediol, which helps penetrate. We also have a patented form of egcg, which is epigallocatogen 3-gallate that comes from green tea. This is great. When applied to the face, it can be rejuvenating. It can be a little bit lifting, a little bit stimulating, and help with puffiness or inflammation in the skin and in the body, especially if you take it as green tea. However, in this under eye area, is it really enough to produce a lifting or a tightening effect? We've also got melanin in here, and that's actually very interesting to see topical melanin. I don't know really what that would do. I'm assuming it's just for the color, since this does kind of have like a coffee color to it, but please, somebody who knows this better than I do, let me know if topical melanin does anything other than just color a product. Overall, we do have some interesting acids in here, and overall, for $6 at Ulta, and I love The Ordinary, I was willing to give it a try. Again, I've used this on people's faces before. This makes a great serum. It also is really great to work into a moisturizer. If you do have rosacea, it's not my first choice for rosacea, but it's not half bad, kind of like as an antioxidant serum, but I put it underneath my eyes. And this is how it went. So as you can see, I have these puffy areas underneath my eyes, and on some days they are more purple than others, and I applied this religiously. Over the first week, I wasn't expecting to see a lot of differences, just because you normally don't see differences so quickly with skincare. You do have to use them for a good amount of time to actually let the skin get accustomed to them, and then allow the skin to go through changes in order to see what actually happened. But even after 2 weeks, I didn't notice much of a difference. As you can see, I still have these puffy areas under my eyes, which we're actually going to talk about, because again, a lot of people think that they have puffy under eye bags that they need to get rid of. These could actually be fatty deposits, part of your anatomy. And beauty companies that are selling you eye creams won't tell you about that, because they want you to think that you need their product, not blepharoplasty, which is literally eyelid surgery. At about the 3-week mark, I still wasn't seeing much improvement. I did notice that there were a couple of days, especially about the 1-month mark, that I woke up with really, really dark purple under eye bags, just because I was stressed or I was having nightmares. I sleep like a rock. I sleep very well, but I do have some traumatic things that happened to me when I was younger, and those come up when I sleep sometimes, which is not fun at all. And I notice that if I don't sleep well enough because, I go to bed too late and set my alarm too early, that I wake up with a little bit of purpleness. And I did notice that when using this, that kind of tended to go away throughout the day. The question is, when you're standing upright, automatically over 5 hours, any fluid in here is going to be drained and reabsorbed into your lymphatic system. And some of that color could dissipate. So was it really the product, or was it just my body readjusting to, being upright and living on a planet that has gravity acting as a force upon it? So you can specifically see me poking at some of that suborbicularis oculi fat. Essentially, you do have this orbital area as well as muscles in your eye, and the fat that kind of hangs out around there is called sub or under orbicularis oculi, this area, fat. And this is highly related to genetics. There's really not much you can do. You see, as we get older, sometimes we grow fatter, and for other people, they actually tend to lose fat mass in their face, especially buccal fat kind of here in the cheeks. A lot of people have problems with that. And the fat that was there, or the fat that is now growing there, becomes more apparent as you lose volume in some of these other areas. And that's just the natural process of, the beauty of our biology and how bodies work. But unfortunately, some people see these things and they start to get super, super concerned. As you can see, I'm kind of poking at this orbital fat pad. This is natural. It kind of grows here. There's an orbital fat pad and then a suborbicularis oculi fat pad. You do have an orbital septum that when you're young kind of holds things together. It's made of connective tissue. And unfortunately, as we get older, gravity does its work, things can start to sag, and that septum doesn't hold things in as tight as it used to, which means some of the fat that's natural in our face starts to show a little bit more. And that's basically what I have here. So no eye cream is going to get rid of that. I'm not at a point where I feel I need to, and if I did want to, you would literally need surgery to do that, or to do it properly. Speaking of surgery, I decided to sit down and talk with Dr. Scott Miller, a plastic and reconstructive surgeon in San Diego, to ask a few more questions. Well, Dr. Miller, it's an absolute pleasure. So I know that you're an educator. I know that you've written textbooks. I know that you do facelifts and mommy makeovers and all that good stuff.
When I finished my training, I did an extra fellowship for a year with a guy named Bruce Cannell, who's kind of the father of the modern facelift, just passed away sadly recently. Since then, went into practice and just kept refining those principles.
Do you believe in eye creams? Do you think that they're a waste of money? Are there any ingredients in eye creams that you do like? And what do you recommend for people who have kind of this suborbital bulge?
Yeah. So I'm going to answer that question two ways, okay? Total difference. I love what you said about the difference between wrinkles and puffiness. Totally different, and you take a totally different approach, okay? And then I'll add a third one to that, is excess. You should be doing surgery for excess. You don't do surgery for fine wrinkles, okay? You can't pull the lower lid tight enough to get rid of fine wrinkles. And if you dare do, it'll pull back and you won't be happy. If you don't want a definitive solution for the puffiness or hollowing, or if it's just mild and early, then I think eye creams can be great, but you gotta, as you said, pick the right cream for the right solution, okay? So what do I like in an eye cream for puffy eyelids? Okay, I like caffeine, because that causes constriction of that muscle. That septum, that muscle, preseptal muscle tightens up, it pushes back the fat, and all of a sudden, your lid looks pretty good, right? Almost like a little cheek lift. The other thing that's great is cold, because cold causes the muscle to constrict and the fat to kind of contract and retract back, okay? So hydration, the thicker your skin is, the less you're going to see any dark circles, the less you're going to see that shadowing, because a lot of times there are dark circles that come from pigment, as you know, when preaching to the choir, but there's also dark circles that come from hills and valleys. Okay, so you saw how if the fat's bulging out and then there's a hollow underneath, it's going to look like there's a big dark circle, because most of the time in life, light's coming from above, right? So you have a shadow. So what happens is, if you can contract that fat back and you can cause the muscle to contract up, then you're going to have less hills and valleys, right? And then if you can have the skin be just a little bit thicker, you're not going to see those little capillaries under the skin or that little undulation as much. So caffeine, cold, hydration, a little bit of a tint. So the best eye creams, I think, are either have all that or have a combination thereof to kind of create that same effect.
If you'd like to see our full conversation, it lasted over an hour, so let me know and maybe I can post that as a bonus video. But when it comes to my eyeballs, I just kept on applying the Ordinary's Caffeine 5%. Continued applying it, and again, I think it's great, especially as a serum, but by the end, I didn't notice huge changes. Again, a lot of that fat is genetically determined. A little bit of cream is not going to get rid of that. If you do sleep on your face, perhaps using this in this area could help kind of push some of that fluid back in and help the body reabsorb that. However, even if you weren't using a cream, using your fingers and this massage movement could help to kind of push some of that fluid back in. This product really doesn't deal with under eye wrinkles. If you wanted something for wrinkles, get like an eye safe retinol. The Inky List has one that's not overpriced, you know, too horribly. There are many other things that you can do. And again, if you are someone who suffers with dark under eye bags or puffiness more so than I do, you're probably going to have a bit more of dramatic results if you have results at all. And that's the other thing, is that when we look at what actually causes under eye puffiness or bags or colors, a lot of the time it's genetic. A lot of the time it could be dietary related. If you sleep on your face, fluid is more likely to pool up in this area. So then when you stand up, it kind of goes away. Or if you just sleep on your back, get one of those Sleep and Glow pillows. There's, you know, a few YouTubers that I watch and love and simp over who use the Sleep and Glow pillow. And I sleep on my side. I'm a side sleeper because I nursed until I was 5 years old. So I've been trying to train myself to sleep on my back, and, you know, get a pillow like that. Try it out. See if it works. Maybe that's what I'll try next. But overall, at the end of 2 months, I didn't see major differences. However, I don't regret spending the money on this product. Again, I did use a bottle and a half over that time period, which is amazing because when you think about how little you actually need to put on your fingers, it is not a lot. It's $6. And so for $6, I'm okay spending that, and I can work it into a moisturizer or a serum or some other cream. However, don't expect a miracle in a bottle. And with a lot of these eye creams, they are overpriced moisturizers. Because the anatomy of our skin is so similar, what you use under your eyes can be used on your face, and vice versa. You might not want to put major occlusives in this area. Some people have reported melia from heavy products. There's not a lot of research to prove that, but you know, doesn't hurt to be sorry or to use something a little bit lighter. I do love The Ordinary and I do love this product, but that's what happened to my under eyes. And if you want to learn a little bit more about this product and how I use it on the face, you can watch that video right here. This took more than 2 months to create, so make sure that like button is blue. And if you haven't subscribed, we talk about skin science, about anatomy and the biology of your beauty here. And if you don't want to miss it, you better have that notification bell turned on. Always remember to be beautiful both inside and out, and I cannot wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.